See, how can I say it? Can I just be fucking blunt?
Go ahead.
What they're doing to men nowadays is the equivalent of a fucking lion using a litter box.
Mm-hmm.
You want this lion to fucking feed off of grass. I had to tell my girl this one time. You say you want alpha man, you want an alpha man, but you don't want a man who you have to follow. You want him to be alpha to everybody else but you.
Right.
That doesn't work, especially not in my world.
Well, let me tell you, the beautiful thing I saw about that show called The Island is what the women realized, feminists and all, what they realized at the end, what they needed more than anything on the island, more than water, shelter, food. You know what they needed more than anything else, Charles?
Man,
They needed leadership.
yeah.
Because they could not function. They tried to work as a democracy for 5 weeks. They finally came in the last week, and the last week they finally elected a leader, and the final week was better than ever. But see what the men did, the men already kind of innately, we went into survival mode, and men learned they got punched. Then they started learning how to get over their beef and work together. Men had built up structures and all kind of shit, was eating fish and pig and every other thing. And what it was a good resetting for people to realize what is important. And what is important for a lot of men today is you got to go on that quest for your manhood, whether it's through the military, whether it's through martial arts. You got to have something that's going to make you get in contact with your inner animal. Because
Yeah.
that's the way it is out here.
What's that old saying? We don't have a fear of being inadequate. We have a fear of being more powerful than belief. Shoot, I forget the actual part.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people don't have a fear of failure. They have a fear of success
Mm-hmm. Well,
because you're going to expect more from them.
well, this is why I tell a lot of black men our goals aren't big enough, because here's the thing, we're very good workers. But let me tell you, my first job as a management, it showed all the flaws in my character. All the flaws in my character came out as a manager. I was a horrible, passive aggressive, bitch made leader. I was so bad. I had to swallow my pride and take a step back, a demotion. And then I followed under one of the best managers in the country. But I was a much better follower at that time because I realized the burden of leadership. I became such a quality number two when I was promoted back to manager. My attitude as a manager was completely different. It wasn't, I'm the boss, you're the worker, you do because I say. It was servant leadership. How can I help you get what you want out of this job? Completely different. Because previously people didn't follow because all I had was a stick. And stick only works so far. You can't beat nobody into submission. And that's the thing, men, there's so much of this shit that that I know the young men just cannot get from the way the current system is. And they're going to have to get it individually somehow. I hope they take this time to really listen to men who have the best intentions for young men and realize that you have to make some choices. Not going to be hard ones. A lot of dudes are terrified. Charles, when I tell you, there are guys who are terrified to go to the military in 23 to 25. They don't. They're just because it's the first time they're going to be around men.
Oh yeah, and I'm gonna tell you what from experience. I went to Fort Benning, Georgia, which was all male. I think it still is.
Mm-hmm.
You were never held to a low standard. See, all my drill sergeants were former vets from the Gulf War.
Mm-hmm.
My fucking XO, that's the second in command. He was a Ranger, 82nd Airborne, Army Ranger, and Special Forces.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Captain, Ranger, First Sergeant, Ranger. You weren't finding no sympathy there. They called you all kinds of bitch made, all kinds of. They cussed you out so much you thought your name was motherfucker.
That was a greeting.
Yeah.
But see, there's also something that you also realize after you accomplish something, you're a changed man forever. You're a changed man forever. Let's see, Chris, let's see you. I don't see a microphone on you yet, Chris. We're gonna be on for a little bit more, but what else you got for us, Charles?
I just wanted to chat with you for a little bit, enjoying what you're putting on. I'm gonna go lie back and enjoy the rest of the show. But man, my boy Aaron over here, he said, "Boy, you hit a guy in the gut and you kicked and you punched him." He said you had a nerve on that one. Say what's up, Aaron.
Hey man, what's up with you, man?
All right. Appreciate it, fellas. I'm getting on with Chris, man. Thanks, Charles.
All right, later.
Peace. All right, Chris, what you got for me?
Hey, Kevin, how you doing? Can you hear me?
I can. And see, and the thing is, I think everybody can understand that how we hit each other is in love. Because I tell you, my Kung Fu masters, Master Lee, Sifu Lee, some of the most devastating attacks, some of the most harsh, loving treatment I ever got was my Kung Fu master. But you're a better man because of it. What you got for us, Chris?
Hey, Kevin, hope I'm not detracting too much from the topic, but just want your perspective, if you don't mind lending it.
Go ahead.
Got accepted into a master's program for public administration, and I'm interested in trying to pivot from, once graduated to hopefully a career in city management and kind of climb the chain from there. Just want your thoughts on that.
So you want to be city management?
Right.
What?
That's my vision as of now.
Okay.
Something in city or state government.
So will you be city manager? Will you be facing the public, or who are you ultimately interfacing with as a city manager?
That's more internal facing.
Okay, so your clients are internal to the city machinery.
Correct.
Okay. Do you have a real passion for actually infrastructure of government and logistics and things like that?
I have
there's a lot of politics in there.
So to answer the question, I have a passion for getting the wheels moving. That's where my interest is. I want to see, whether it be infrastructure, transportation, clean water, things of that nature. That's where my interest and passion is. I'm not too enthusiastic about the political jungle that I know exists.
So let me ask you this. What's your leadership style?
That is a good question. I'm not really sure.
Boom. That's your blind spot then, because the city manager is a leader, right?
Correct.
Right. And if you would have how many people reporting to you or through you?
Depends on the city size, but yeah, anywhere from 20 to somewhere in the hundreds.
Right. And as passionate as you are about all those projects, you ain't going to go around and turn all the valves and pull all the cords and do all the work. Right.
Correct.
So your ultimate power lies in influencing people to get them to act upon your behalf.
Correct.
So you need to determine what kind of leader you plan on being. I got promoted to a job and I was woefully unprepared to be a manager because I thought the title was enough. You need to go, there's several different leadership styles. You need to go figure out what resonates best with you and your philosophy, and then actually becoming adept at that. Because my next question was going to be, if you told me what your leadership style was, I was going to ask you, where in your life have you demonstrated this to success? So you don't have a leadership style and you have no track record of actually seeing how it works.
Correct.
So here's the thing. Get in a job as a city manager. That's over here. But where could you actually become a leader and practice your leadership styles on your way to this kind of stuff? How about charities? How about charities are, American Heart Association, Heart Runs, Habitat for Humanity, your local church, your mission, volunteerism, things that will actually tie you into your local machinery. And you could become a man about town known for getting some things done. And that will put you in direct proximity with business people, voters, and also give you an opportunity to practice, because you don't want to practice with the big job. You need to know who you are and how you lead before you get to that job. Because let's say you got the job as city manager, and you have no leadership style, you have no practice. They're not going to give you a long time to learn. You on the job, you got to perform.
True.
right?
True.
So,
So
go
something
ahead.
that I'm struggling with is, and just seems to be the theme for a lot of us young men in our 20s, is this issue with indecisiveness. So
Mhm.
I got in, but I'm kind of having second thoughts after consuming some of your content, where I'm looking at my degree where it's more analytical, more policy based, but it's
Mhm.
not giving me a skill.